Welcome to another video, guys. Today we're going to be talking about a really important topic, which would be Demon Lord Clan Boss. In this video I'm going to talk about the 3 best ways to be clearing Demon Lord Clan Boss, so you can be one-keying Quick Battle Ultra Nightmare. So I hope you find the video helpful, and if you do, a like and subscribe would be great. And don't forget to check me out live on stream each Tuesday and Thursday, where I give free account takeovers for my viewers. If you want to support the channel for free and star rate the right way, you can download the game from my premium download link, and right now you're going to get 4 amazing champions as soon as you start. You're going to have 48 hours for the promo code section, and you're even going to be able to get Skeletor after 7 days of logging in. So all around, a top tier way to be starting the game right now. But now, let's get into the video. As you guys know, Demon Lord is the most important thing you could be farming in Raid Shadow Legends, and the main reason for that is the rewards are absolutely top tier. If statistics were statisticking, you should be getting yourself a grand total of about 12, maybe even more sacred shards if you are always farming Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare clan boss in a clan that actually downs it. And you're also going to be getting about the similar amount of legendary skill books, which is absolutely premium. You're also going to get quite a lot of void shards, quite a lot of ancient shards, and anything in between. So it's one of the most important things you need to be figuring out on any new account in order to actually have a chance to remain free to play and actually do fusions and progress into the game. What are the best ways of actually farming Demon Lord? Well, the way I see it, you basically have 3 options. You could be going for an unkillable clan boss with the help of Wixwell, and obviously Wixwell is the most important part in here. You could also be building yourself an unkillable team with things like Man-Eaters, Demythas, Rush cards, Helicats, and so on and so forth, or you could just brute force the thing and just deal tons of damage, which was actually the way I actually first cleared Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss in a 1-key. But let's start with the easiest that most people would be doing on their accounts, which would be a Wixwell team. Right now with the fusion tokens, we should be seeing really soon a fusion where we can actually trade our tokens for an important champion, and 9 times out of 10 for most people, the first champion you're probably going to be grabbing for your account would be a Wixwell. Of course, if you already have a Wixwell, you're not, but anybody who doesn't have a Wixwell, this is probably going to be the first champion they're picking. And the reason behind that is, thanks to Wixwell, you basically get the never die against Clan Boss, because you are gonna have an infinity amount of shield. Well, it's a 1 million shield, I do believe. It gets capped out at 1 mil. But yeah, the point is, you build yourself an insanely big shield and you never let it drop. The way you do that is you open with his A3, that adds an extra shield. You're also gonna have a shield set, and if you're really lucky, you're also gonna have a magma shield, either through Pelops or through the mythical relic, but for most people it's probably gonna be Pelops. And after that, you're just gonna keep on increasing the size shield and increasing the duration of those shields by 1 turn over and over and over again. That will allow you to actually basically deal damage up until forever, and you are going to be reaching the 1500 turn mark if you've built your team right. Right now, I obviously have a very stacked out team here, but the gist of it is you need Wixwell, you need another shield extender, and the rest is just gravy. So basically what you need to be doing on your account is just find yourself a couple of champions that increase the duration of your buffs, like this, increase buff duration, and you just look through your team and see who can be doing the job for you. As you guys see, we have several different options. Most people are gonna be using this girl if they're early in their account. A Hellborn Sprite definitely helps. Demytha obviously does the job. Aniri is also a super good champion that does that for you, but that's literally all she is gonna be doing for you. Nothing else really matters on her. And another champion you could be using would be Anchorite, which is definitely also pretty decent. But not only that, you could also be using champions that just decrease cooldown, so even if you don't have yourself 2 more good shield extenders, you could just be getting yourself somebody that decreases cooldown like a Painkeeper or something, and that can also work out, even though it might need a little bit more brain power. The rest of the team is gonna have to be some kind of damage. Would be nice if you have yourself some increased speed action, some turn meter boostage, that kind of stuff, so you can actually lap the boss and increase the shield a lot faster than the boss is gonna be slapping you down with. If everything went according to plan, you should be getting this kind of stuff. Right now, this team does not even have all of its items. I'm pretty sure Titus is missing like his accessories, his glove, that kind of stuff, but it's still gonna work out. And yeah, it's kind of insane. And this basically happens on any clan boss difficulty, any affinity, any day of the week. Here we have it on Ultra Nightmare. Again, basically 1-keying the hell out of him, no problem whatsoever. So yeah, this would be probably the best tactic to be utilizing for most people, but what can you do if you don't have yourself a Wixwell? Well, if you don't have a Wixwell, you're probably not very far into the game either, so your other option would be to build yourself some sort of unkillable team. Like I said, things like Demythas, Helicats, Rush cards, that kind of stuff could work out as well. Like here's an example of a pretty cheap team with Harris, with Seeker with the Mifa, and also Deacon Armstrong is important, here's another exact option, and so on and so forth. The best place to be finding yourself such teams would be none other than Deadwood Jedi's site, and here you get to find all sorts of different teams, all sorts of different speed tunes for Clan Boss. Some are more beginner friendly, some not so much, but yeah, basically depending on what kind of champion you already have on your account, you get to see what kind of teams you might actually be able to be building. And here the situation is very different. Like, depending on the champions you have, the strategy might be a little bit different, but for the most part what you're trying to do is reach 50 turns with Unkillable on your champions and just deal 71 mil plus damage in that time span. I'm not gonna pretend this is simple work, by the way. Like, it took me quite a few tries to actually figure out all of the intricacies you need to be aware of when fighting Clan Boss, but it really is not that hard once you get the hang of it. There are detailed guides out there for some of these comps, so you should be able to actually figure it out. But yeah, it really comes down to what kind of champions you have in order to actually see what kind of stuff you need to be pulling off. A team most people should be able to build would be with the Mifa, which is obviously a Void Epic, so it's not the easiest champion in the world to be getting, but you do have quite a few quite easy options to be building a team like that. Here's a pretty simple team that I actually have built for quite a few people on my account takeovers, and it's really not that hard to pull off, guys. Like, all you gotta do is follow the speed tune, but the hard part here would be to actually get enough damage with only a single real DPS, even though Harris can also definitely pull her weight here if you build her with crit rate gloves and a decent amount of crit damage. And honestly, when you're building a team like this, you literally should be building anybody in crit damage gloves plus crit rate on the amulets in order to actually squeeze every single bit of damage you possibly could. Getting the speeds exactly right is super important, so don't forget things like maybe you added yourself some kind of bonuses over at the area bonuses. Like, I myself back in the day had to put in quite a few. Like, look at this nonsense, 14 extra speed in Demon Lord. You definitely need to be taking account this speed in there. And yeah, as long as you follow the guides word for word, you should have no problem, even though if you're actually smart, you could even pivot from these speeds they given. Like, look at this nonsense here. Like, what is this, math homework? I'm just gonna follow the speeds, guys. If you guys can figure what the hell the author was trying to say with these, yes, you could be trying some other stuff, but for the most part, if you're dumb like me, definitely follow the guides to the point, and it should be working out for you. By the way, an interesting thing happened to me on the last account takeover for Unkillable team with this, and I still to this day have no idea why the hell was the team breaking if my DPS was at 157 speed. Like, what the actual hell, guys? We were using Xenomorph and that team, and for some reason it kept breaking. If anybody in the comments has any idea what the hell was happening in there, do let me know. But literally we had to drop it down to 156 and that fixed the problem. So I don't know, guys, like, what the hell was that even? Anyway, there are a few important things you really need to be taking into account when building teams like this. You gotta really follow these detailed instructions here. Like, can you be building a champion with a Relentless? Obviously no, because that's gonna break the tune. Could you be bringing some masteries like Cycle of Magic or Lasting Gifts? Can you bring refresh accessories and so on and so forth? Basically anything that touches your turn meter, your cooldowns, your buff duration, and anything in between that relates to somehow breaking the tune, you really need to be thinking long and hard. Could you actually be fitting something like that in? But for the most part, if you can, it's gonna be written in the guide. So yeah, when you're building yourself a Mifa team, if you're gonna be going for Unkillable, it's really important to be taking extra careful attention on rapid response, because this thing has 30 chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a buff cast by a champion is removed or expires. So this is an absolute no-no when you're building Unkillable teams. Another very bad mastery would be has 30 chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a debuff cast by this champion is removed. And of course, Cycle of Magic can also absolutely break a tune, which has 5% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill by 1 turn. These are the 3 really bad masteries you could be taking that are going to be breaking your tunes. Another really important thing is, when it comes down to relics, you do not want to be bringing anybody Journal of Necrotos or anything like that, and you definitely do not want to be giving anybody any extra turn meter boostage, because that again is going to be breaking the tune big time. Other than that, when it comes down to gear, you definitely do not want to be bringing things like Relentless for most champions, champions. Things like Reflex are also going to be breaking stuff for you. Basically, any set that can give you extra turns or extra cooldown reduction is an absolute no-no. And same can be said for accessories. If you have an accessory like the Refresh accessory, which brings your cooldown down by 1 with a 5% chance, again, you do not want to be having that thing. So yeah, to recap, it's not going to be easy, but if you follow a guide to the T, you should have no problem getting this thing done. As long as you have the champions, of course, and a decent amount of decent gear. And like I said, the last way to be clearing clan boss would be the traditional way with an actual team. And back in the day, I did indeed do that. I'm pretty sure I used Mikage, and Geomancer was one of the champions I definitely used. But yeah, for the most part, when fighting clan boss, you just gotta be bringing quite a few important buffs and debuffs. Like one thing to remember is clan boss does not get affected by decreased speed, so no reason to be bringing that. You definitely want to be decreasing attack for clan boss unless you're happy to get your teeth kicked in. You definitely need increased speed on your team. Something like Strengthen, Ally Protect would be very important for you. Bringing yourself a Reviver is usually a good idea, although if somebody dies, it's usually kind of not far from the run being over. So if we gotta be completely honest, the Reviver against clan boss is not super essential as long as you have everything else right with things like Strengthen, Ally Protect, heck, even things like Unkillable and such. So yeah, you could check out my detailed guide about clan boss. I have talked about all the different buffs and debuffs you really care about when fighting that guy. So yeah, give it a check and do let me know how it goes for you. So yeah guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, a like and subscribe would really be appreciated. And don't forget to check me out live on stream each Tuesday and Thursday, where I do so many account takeovers for my viewers, and 9 times out of 10 we're doing clan boss, let's not pretend. If you want to support the channel for free, download the game from my premium download link and start raid the right way. Thanks for watching guys, I'm Chris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.